We finally made it to a Friday. Holy Moses. Hello, my name is Gary. I am the director of Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra and the guy who's running JollyRogerUkulele.com. That's the website you should go to pick up the sheet music that you're about to run through. And I'm going to go there right now and post a link to this broadcast. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. We had a little bit of a cold day here in Denver yesterday, and it's warmed up a little bit today, and the snow is melting off, so we're happy about that. I think, we get one day of snow in Denver, and then we're like, okay, now we need to have a few days with no snow. All right, let me make sure I got this posted on here correctly. Update and update. And at least for now, we're still posting on Twitter for no apparent reason. JollyRogerUkulele.com. Today we are going to be doing all three books and changed a few things up for today, which will make some people crazy, but mostly not. We sort of lost the general thread of what was going on, I'm afraid. We may have nobody show up. We may have lots of people show up. Who knows? And we don't really care. As long as you're here, that's what matters. All right, so we're on Twitter. That means that we're somebody. And I can close this window down. And I can go to double check that the link is working. And scroll down, click here. Ta-da! Yes, going exactly where it's supposed to go. Let me make sure that the software is doing what it's supposed to do. My current audio microphone is the MacBook Air microphone, so hopefully you guys are hearing me okay, and that's that. All right, so here we are. Oops, don't do that. Not good. Our first song that we want to work on today is it 2:50. Oh, we got 2 minutes to hang out. People won't be here until 3. Nobody's coming at 3 either. Tell you what, we're going to start anyway. They'll show up and they'll be like, wait a minute, I'm on time, and you're already going. That'll be good for them. Today, I want to go over the arpeggio in C, which we started forever ago. And we were going to do 2 weeks of it, and then it's now been a month. And so hopefully you're an expert on it at this point. If not, we're going to do it right now. So first thing is, well, remember, you're going to need a ukulele. Second thing is, I changed strings on this, which means it's going to be wildly out of tune. How often do you need to change your strings? Okay, there is a correct answer and a more correct answer. Back in the day when we had nylon strings, they pretty much sounded terrible when you put them on. They stayed terrible the entire time you played them, sometimes for years. And then when you took them off and replaced them, they didn't sound that much better. Things are different now. We use fluorocarbon, right? And it stretches like crazy. So in the beginning, it's really hard to get your ukulele in tune and keep it in tune. Then after about 3 weeks, it starts sounding good. What you do want to be aware of, if you have white strings on your ukulele or black strings on your ukulele, you want to get those off as soon as possible. Those are not the best choice for your ukulele. They are the cheapest choice that the manufacturers can find. And there's a lot of talk on the internet about how they're the best strings. They are a long way from the best strings. And so if your strings are white or black, get rid of them. You want to put on fluorocarbon. Most of the time around here in Denver, when I'm replacing strings on almost all ukuleles, I put the Savarez ukulele strings, Savarez ukulele strings. They seem to have a good lasting ability, and they sound great. I've tried lots and lots and lots of these other name brand strings. So if you go on the ukulele websites, you're like, oh, these are the best ones. I've tried all of them. I can't find any that legitimately price versus sound quality are any better than the Savarez, and so that would be my recommendation. Also, when it comes to changing your strings, you need to do it every year these days. Your ukulele strings are going to die out. They're going to sound terrible pretty quickly, and so you want to change them out at least once a year. If you're playing a lot, like I play a lot, and I find my strings last about 4 months. I usually stretch them to 6 months because I'm lazy, but 4 months would be, if you're a daily player, that's going to be about the length of time your strings are worth anything. And so there's that. Robin has made it in. Robin, I hope you can hear me. Please toss a note into the chat bar that you can hear me. Delightful to have you. I have been very negligent about advertising these sessions, and actually pretty negligent about actually making it to the sessions as well, for one reason or another. So we will have a very light turnout today, I hope. It'll be me and Robin and you, whoever you are watching this video, and we're going to rock the house. Now, we've been we're just getting into the real the last couple of pretty difficult lessons in book 1, and that's the C major arpeggio. We've had it up on the website for quite a while now, and I do want to run through it to make sure that you're doing well on it. Okay, so your ukulele is tuned G, C, E, A, George, Clooney, Eats, Apples. Okay, got my tuner, he's kind of freaking out. You'll probably hear the heater running in the background. I apologize about that. And then remember, when you're a ukuleleist, having your ukulele this direction is bad. Having your ukulele this direction is good. Your thumb stays behind here. I don't ever see your neck. I don't need to see your thumb peeking up over the top. There will never be a time ever in the history of your playing ukulele when you're going to need to do this. So thumb down here. That allows you to get to your chords correctly with this hand. This hand with this arpeggio, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring, or thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, depending on the situation. Diane made it in. Hey, Diane. Hello, stranger, playing both today. What is that? Oh, playing both ukulele and baritone. Nice. Diane, let me know if you can hear me. Robin popped in, and then I'm not sure if she's listening, but I need to make sure the sound is working. So please let me know if it is. So that's page 1, right? We're going to be doing this with these guys, and getting this right hand clean and clear and pretty is an important part of what we do in fingerstyle ukulele. So we've got to get that right, and so we're going to be working on that. And then on page 2, we're going to have some thumb strums, which is just like that. Okay, which is different than the way we usually play ukulele. You can hear me. Yay, good. All right, when we play ukulele, most time index finger straight down. Do a lot of that, which is super fun. But when we're looking to get a little bit more specific about tone production, that thumb coming down is going to sound really great. All right, grab your ukuleles, grab your C major arpeggio, and this is from a book I wrote, I think about 2012 or so, and I wrote it to teach myself all of the different chords and all of the different keys, and to really get my right hand really good and solid. And it's turned out to be a pretty handy book for just about anybody who tackles it. They're pretty nice little tunes in there, and they bring you all of the skills you're going to need for the rest of fingerstyle play. So this is the first one in the book that you should do. C major arpeggio. Put your C chord on. Let's give it a try. Hopefully you'll do well. 1, 2, ready, play. G chord, F chord, back to G chord, and then to C chord, then to G, F, and then G. Last note is different. Plunk, thumb, index, middle, plunk, G7, C chord, ring, middle, thumb, middle, index, thumb, that's what I meant, F, G7, 17, A minor, F chord, G7, to the top, double speed, G, F, G. Same thing again. Watch this last note. Page 2, a little slower. Pinky, G chord, second string, F chord, add your pinky, G7, 2, 3, 4, G chord, F chords, G7, 2, 3, pick up the tempo. Always on that last chord, just leave the chord on until the ukulele completely turns off and goes silent. Okay, beautiful. All right, so there's your ukulele version of that. Now, when we grab the baritone version, those of you who have ukuleles only are like, well, what should I be doing? Well, you're going to play the chords only. You're not going to play any of the other stuff. We won't be able to play together simultaneously, but I'll give you what your chords look like here momentarily. Let me get this guy tuned in. Should you have both ukulele and baritone? Heck yes. Okay. There's going to be sometimes when this nice deeper tonality makes more sense, and you'll want to have that. And then there'll be other times when you'll be like, you know what, I'm perfectly fine playing my regular ukulele. And so in baritone, this goes from the key of C major into the key of G major. And so if you're on ukulele, your job is to give us a nice 4-beat patterning along here, and you can just strum in along right with us. Your G chord looks like that. Okay, when we're on D chord, yours looks like this. It has everybody crammed into the second fret. When we're on C chord, you of course know that one. That's your home planet. And then there's a D7 in here. Your D7, just make your D chord, but lift up your middle finger. And then when you the only other chord in here is E minor, and your E minor looks like that. It's got just 2, 3, and 4. That's what your E minor looks like. Robin says, can't really play along too well today, though. I have an injured index finger on my fretting hand. Oh, no. All right, Robin, here's what you do when you have that. Right? Don't worry about fretting. Don't aggravate anything here, obviously, but just play the note. Just play the strings, right? Let it just be dead strings. Okay, that's perfectly legitimate. Last time, I've only been to Hawaii once. And I'm like, last time I went, I've only been once, and it's great. And I had just started ukulele back in the day, and I was so excited. And I was like, okay, we're going to Hawaii. I'm going to buy a ukulele. I'm going to see how they're really playing it there, see what the correct way to play it is. And we would go to the luau, the only place I actually saw anybody playing a ukulele, and mostly using it as percussion, right? And it's a great percussion instrument. So listen how cool that sounds, right? And so yeah, it's a very common way to use the ukulele. So if you have an injured finger, just Z chord, we call it. Just take your four fingers, lay them flat on the strings. Don't press down, right? You don't want that. And then just play the tablature, right? That's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to lower this down just a smidge so you can see my right hand a little better. All right, from the top, I'm on a baritone. If you're on ukulele, just play the names of the chords, don't ignore the grids, right? Play the name of the chords, and if you're on baritone, of course, play the tablature with me. 1, 2, ready, play. Measure 10. Page 2. Pick it up. And again, hold on to your last last chord, whatever it is, whatever song, every single song. Hold on to that last chord because you don't want it to get away on you. All right, beautiful. How about that? That's a really, really pleasant way to spend your days. If you have any thought of becoming a really quality ukulele player, you should play every single song out of the Jumping C Arpeggio book. There are 30 of them. Every one of them teaches you something, and so spend a little bit of time thinking about, do I want to play at the highest level? That's what you got to do. You got to get through that book for sure. You should be able to play, because that way you've played in all of the keys, including weird keys that we never play in, to get all of your technique together. Okay, Donna is outside the window right now making fun of me. She's wearing little leaves on her head. I don't know what's wrong with her. She married me. There's something clearly wrong with her. All right, next on our list of to-dos, I'm going to go and figure out what it is that we're doing next. Amazing Grace. Go grab your Amazing Grace. Grab the ukulele version. We'll talk about it as a ukulele piece, and if we have time, we'll play it as a baritone piece. All right, so here's the key. Here's the thing that when you're a newer player, you really, really, really want to talk yourself into not yanking your hands off and having them fly all over tarnation because you think there's something to do. Okay, so when we're looking at Amazing Grace, the purpose of Amazing Grace is not to play Amazing Grace. The purpose of Amazing Grace is to do two things. One, give you another bar chord that you get to work on, and then most importantly, teach you don't take a finger off unless you really have to take a finger off. And in this case, you'll be able to play most of the entire song without doing really anything. Okay, so ukulele in playing position. Grab your tuner because you just changed your strings and they're out of tune. And remember, George Clooney eats apples. Okay, we're going to bring George back. I saw he had a movie out. And the youngsters don't know who George Clooney is. So we got to keep letting them know. Okay, we got to know how important George Clooney is. And what we're going to be doing here, we want to take the G chord. Okay, so we're leaving the world of C, key of C, and we're moving into the key of G. One of the nice things about the key of G is C comes along for the ride. Okay, so C's coming along for the ride, but we're learning to really master this G chord. This is something when you go to Hawaii and you take the class at the hotel lobby where they say, come on down, we'll teach you to play ukulele. They teach you a G7 because they teach you a C, an F, and a G7, and then you play half a dozen songs, and then they direct you to the gift shop to go buy a ukulele. What we're going to do is get really good at this chord. So G, index, middle, and ring. Don't do it the other way, okay? Don't put your middle finger on top. A lot of people want to do that. It seems good at first. It's going to seem very bad down the road. Index, middle, ring. Index, middle, ring. That's how it goes on. And then we're going to hold on to this unless we have to move something. Okay, so your first note in Amazing Grace is a 2. You're already holding it down. Okay, now if you're playing melody, your 3 you're already holding down, or if you're playing the Tuff uke, you can go 0, 2, 3. Okay, and for this song, just your thumb down is fine. Okay, measure 1 in the middle, you got a 2 and a 3. You're already holding them down, so I don't need to do anything. And then measure 2, you play a nice G chord. Okay, or if you're on melody, just play the 2 by itself. Okay, next note's a 0. Now you do have to move your middle finger here. Don't take these 2 guys off. Just don't leave them there. Just lift up your middle finger. Okay, and then the next note is 0, 0, 3. It's a modified C chord. You're just going to take off your index finger. And notice we've played all the way to this point. This finger's never moved. Okay, and then at the end of measure 3, we finally have to take that off as well. And then at measure 4, put your G chord right back on. That gets you that 2 that you need. And then you play it again. Measure 5, you got a little G chord. Now notice my thumb is stopping and resting on the string here. Okay, I was working with somebody last night on rest stroke. A little confusing, right? We all have a tendency to want to do this all the time. No. If it says 0, 2, 3 and you're not going to play the first string, it's hard to see in the video here, you are going to, your thumb is going to stop there, just like that. Okay, just like that. saved, and then 2, 3 after that, and then measure 6. You got a full G chord. Okay, middle finger up. Now look at this mess at measure 7. Okay, when you're new, you just grab the 5 and play the melody note. Okay, but you guys are not new, so we want to, when you go from that G chord and you open up that 0, you're already making the motion to put your bar on and your pinky on 5. Okay, that's what's going on at measure 7. And that note's worth 5 beats. Look at, count it out. Measure 7 has a dotted half note. That's worth 3. And then it's tied to measure 8 where there's a half note. And there's 2 beats on that note. So that's 5 beats that thing's going to last. So 2, 3, 1, 2. Really a long, long note. And what we wanted to think about there, if in a more advanced class, this is the intro class, right? This is getting used to playing ukulele. We played 2, 3, 1, 2. That's what I want you to do. I want you to get used to counting. In a more advanced class, we would go, right, or something. We would add in some fancy stuff in the middle there. And then move on, right? We would just add in some stuff, holding on to this big old fat chord. We would want to add in something that's interesting in there. That's where your arpeggio practice comes in. When you become a more advanced person and you see a nice long note like that, that's a time to put in some decorative notes for no reason other than to fill up the time, and for your audience to be like, why is he not playing anything for 5 beats in a row? So now the other thing to talk about with this is anytime you have bars, I should drive home the message that Make a Better Bar worksheet that I gave you in lesson number whatever is important. Okay, you sit down, tune up your ukulele, and then run your Make a Better Bar. Because what you're going to want when you first start, your bar sounds like this an awful lot, but as you get more comfy, you will get where you can get clean notes out of all of them. This is one of those moments where that work that you do on making a better bar pays off, because you get to measure 7 here and you're like, oh, that's a bar on 2, pinky on 5. And now comes this beautiful chord out of your ukulele. A much fancier D chord than most ukulele players are ever going to deal with, right? They see a bar chord and they're like, I'm out, I'm going to play a different song. You guys are like, oh, it's just a bar chord. Okay? And it sounds amazing on ukulele. And bar chords give you so much control over the quality of your sound that you don't get by playing open strings all of the time. So it's really, really a pleasant thing. When I see a bar chord, I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'll be in charge of the sound for a minute. All right, so there's your D chord. And it says it's a D7 if we sing it. Love wretch like me, right? But as a Tuff uke line, you get a regular D chord there. Okay, I could have put in a D7 with your pinky up there, but it just sounds kind of weird and wanky. It just doesn't sound as nice as the full bar chord. Okay, now when you have this big old contraption on here and you wait your 5 beats, now we're going to get started. Your next note's a 2, so don't lift the bar off. Don't lift that off yet. Just lift up your pinky finger, hit the 2, and now you have choices. Okay, what I want you to do is a G chord with your pinky up and on 5. Okay, that's what I want you to do. However, that can be pretty challenging, and especially if you're on baritone where things are farther apart, that might be an unpleasant, might be a very unpleasant thing to do. So you can index, middle, and pinky, and it's much easier to play it that way. Okay, so you've got this, and this, which is perfectly fine. The challenge with this is the very next note's a 2, so you got to pull off your chord and move this down over there very quickly, which isn't really great. But if you can, put a full G chord on, add your pinky up on 5. Okay, also be mindful, your pinky should always be rounded. It is very normal for us to straighten that out. right, and do that. That's not ideal. We want to work. I have a perpetually weak pinky, and so it's always laying out flat. I don't mean it to be that way. I want to have it nice and round. One of the ways to do that is just make sure you're not chicken winging it, right, where you're adding extra distance. Your elbow should be comfortably up against your side probably, and then your hand, have that slide down just this part of it. Don't change your fingers, but just make sure it's not way up here, right, that it's coming down here, and you should be able to get a pretty good attack angle on that. And there's that G chord with the 5 on the top. You're gonna making so many of those in your life. After a while, you'll be like, okay, whatever. Okay. Now we take the pinky off, 2, 3, and again, nothing's moving out here, right? Staying nice and peaceful. Middle finger up, and then 0, 0, 3, and then another 0, and then a 2. Use your index finger because you're gonna put that G chord right back on. Hit another 2, okay, and then a G chord. 2, 3, another bar chord, just beautiful. This is a majorly cool moment in this song. Okay, it's very funky, right? It's a jazz chord, really. And then hit an open note while you're putting your G chord on. Okay, so for the week, let me play it through for you one time. First of all, go through and sing it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. All right, so that's one way you play it. Second way you go through, play the melody. Whoop. There it is. Oops. Melody's harder. The hardest part of on song music to play is the melody. Okay. Terrible fingering choices over here, but you see what you're up to, right? Go through and make sure you can play the melody with some amount of authority. This one, because there's no ones, it makes a lot of sense to use your index finger on 2. And then let's play together if you want. Amazing Grace, TuffRawk. 1, 2. Okay, and this is a good song to just have in your arsenal. There's plenty of times when somebody wants me to come play. Well, I haven't done a ton of funerals, but I have done a few. And that one comes up, right? It's like, hey, could you play Amazing Grace? My grandpa loved that. Yes, I can. Okay. Plus, you'll see it. They use it a lot in political things where they want to have something that sounds religious but not too religious, kind of thing. And so you'll hear it in political stuff. And of course, if you go to church, you hear it there. I don't know if you hear it at everybody's church. Probably don't hear it at Buddhist church. All right, Linda made it in. Hey, Linda, in from the rain. Oh, see, we're having a perfect day here in Denver, Linda. We're finally winning after the 99-degree summer, and Sandy's in. Oh, happy birthday to me. Yeah, I switched out today's Book 3 playlist to include Happy Birthday to Gary on it. So, yeah, I'm 58. Can you believe that? I'm still 27 in my head. I'm working on that, trying to get, probably not even that, probably more in the 17 range. But yeah, my body is telling me, yep, you're definitely way not 17 anymore. All right, let's do the baritone version of it. And as you guys know, it's always the same. When I do baritone music and ukulele music, it's the same, except the key is different. So if you're on ukulele and you want to play along, you got your D chord, you have your G chord, and you have your A7 is right there. Okay, so that's your A7 on ukulele. On baritone, we're going to play a D chord, we're going to play a G chord, and we're going to play an A7. Okay, together from the top, 3 beats per measure. 1, 2. Two, three, four, 5. All right, spend the week working on this. We'll catch everybody up on it again next week. Make sure everything is going smoothly on that. We're into legitimate music in book 1 now, so there's every single song from here out there's no learning song. There's no frere jacques. There's no Three Blind Mice. It's all legitimate music. Really, once you hit Brahms Lullaby, everything in book 1 is legitimate music, and all of it has a skill in it that you're going to need for playing book 2. And speaking of book 2, Linda has showed up, Sandy has arrived, and Jan just walked in. And we're in sunny, breezy, cold Lakewood. It's not that cold. It's pretty nice out. I was out for 10 minutes earlier. I went outside, and I was like, oh, it's pretty nice out here. All right, book 2. What are we working on in book 2? I don't even remember. Molly Malone and Parting Glass. Let's go play some music for a little while. It's been so long. I've been having so many things get in the way of making it to this class. So let's go grab, what should we do? A lot of you guys, several of you have baritones, and some of you have ukuleles, so it doesn't matter what order we play them in. So let's go into, what am I saying? Molly Malone. Molly Malone. Let's go grab Molly. Molly Malone. Ukulele. Let's do the ukulele version first. And see how we do on it. And then we'll play the baritone version of it. And I'm going to try not to talk, you guys. You guys obviously are good players. Had this music a while. Hopefully it's coming together for you. And if I don't talk, which is hard for me to do, if I don't talk, we can maybe get through everything. All right, Molly Malone. I'm just glancing through it real quick. I'm like, okay, where's my problem spot's going to be? All right, shouldn't be any. All right, should be straight. Oh yeah, we've got the E minor with your pinky on 5. That's going to come up. That looks an awful lot like a G chord when it shows up. So beware, it's out to get you. All right, from the top, Molly Malone on a ukulele. If you're on baritone, you know your chords. Go get them. From the top, this is in your key. 1, 2. time through. Second ending. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that a pretty song? Hey, I was going to mention, when I rolled up onto that last chord there, a lot of times when you see a big mess like that, you're like, oh gosh, what am I supposed to do? Just use your eyeball as quickly as possible. What's the lowest note? 7. That's where the bar goes. Okay, and then the rest is going to be a typical chord in front of that almost always. Unless we're playing jazz, you're either going to have an A minor shape, a C shape, an F shape, possibly an A shape. Yeah, that's about most of the time. Those are the chords you're going to have sitting in front of the bar. So just find the lowest fret number, put your bar on, and the rest of your chord is probably going to flop on like you're a pro. Okay, beautiful. Let's go grab the baritone version of it. Isn't that a lovely tune? If you're on ukulele, here's your D chord. Your B minor is just your A minor at the 2nd fret. Okay, your E minor is 1, 2, 3. We're playing that, and your A7 is right here. That's what your ukulele chords are. And I'm pretty sure, I think that's all of them in the whole song, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so it's a 4-chord song, just your standard issue out of the box, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6 minor set of chords, and that's going to come up a lot in your life. So just get comfy with it. From the top, baritone players, I know we got a bunch of you in today. All right, you're keeping the faith, man. Okay, from the top. By the way, I'm playing this with all my thumb because I just like that beautiful, soft, pretty tone to it. Make sure when you're at your house that you're using the claw as well. Now I got baritone. I'll do the claw. Let's do it. From the top. 1, 2. Top. baritone has 2 dots on fret 10. Every time I look down, I'm like, that's 12. No, that's 10. Oh, God. We should have a federal law of where you're allowed to put dots and where you're not allowed to put dots, don't you think? It's crazy sometimes. All right. Parting Glass, one of our all-time favorites. Let's go grab Parting Glass. We'll grab the baritone version of it since it's in my hand, and it's my birthday, and I don't want to work very hard. Okay, Parting Glass is a much harder song to play, but much more rewarding. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of the chords on this. It's not, they're not that many chords, but they are a little crazy. Ukulele players that are playing from the baritone sheet music, remember again, B minor is your A minor on the 2nd fret. Dun-dun. G chord, D chord, and A chord. I think maybe that's all of them. It looks like there's a lot more. A lot of B minor in this one, so it's beautiful. It's a really, really lovely key to play in. It's best friends with the key of D, and we would expect that in Irish music. They love the key of D, and D always comes along with its best friend B minor, and so that's what's happening here. As you're playing in D, you're just playing the minor version of the key of D, and it ends up sounding really, really pretty. Probably a lot harder to play too, so hopefully that'll be fun for you. Let's see how we do. Okay. And it's supposed to be fast. We're going to play it slow. I don't know, fast, but it's supposed to be faster than we're going to play it. We're going to take our time, get through it, see how pretty we can make it. From the top, 3-beat countdown. 1, 2, 3. To the top. Second ending. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? That's awesome. Love that. All right. We play that on harmonica a lot too, and it's even better on harmonica. we got Diane in the house. Diane's my professional harmonica player, and she is legit, and it's really a beautiful piece. Let's see, Robin. Robin and Linda live in the same neighborhood up in Vancouver, or near Vancouver, and it's awful out there, huh? Somehow, you know how when a lot of times people complain about the weather in Denver, and you're like, shut up, shut up. You have no idea how lucky you are. When you hear people in Canada complain about the weather, you're like, I don't know. What did you think was going to happen up there? It's cold and it's rainy in that part of the world. Yeah, it's awful. No matter how many years you live there, you just don't get used to it, right? It's like when I lived in New Mexico, I just never got used to how dry it was all of the time. It's just dry all the time. Drives you nuts. All right, baritone players, you're on E minor. This is one of those things that you love, right? So E minor on baritone, that's the A minor on ukulele. C chord looks like an F chord on ukulele. G chord, yay! And D chord on baritone is right there. And that's it. So all those are your out-of-the-box chords. Hey, Carol, welcome in. All right, baritone on ukulele. Let's make this happen. Oh, happy birthday. Eat some cake in my honor. That's the best gift you could give me. Don't play ukulele in my honor. Eat cake in my honor. I love that. All right, same exact system. Let's take it through nice and slow. And see. Now we're in the key of G, which is pretty popular in Ireland, but it's not quite. It has a little bit more spunk to it than the key of B minor, what we just played. So E minor it sounds beautiful, doesn't it? By the way, I changed my strings on my ukulele. You know what? It sounds better. You should probably do the same thing. From the top. 1, 2, 3. Where was I? This hasn't happened in a while where I looked up and I'm like, I have no idea what measure I'm on. Not even a clue. I'm looking at it going, there's a lot of numbers there. I don't know where I'm at. Let's start from the beginning. Take 2. I feel like one of those, I feel like I'm at school when I'm trying to play in front of performance class, and I can totally play the song at home, and then I play in front of them. I was like, I can't do this at all. What am I doing here? I should just quit now. All right, from the top. Have you ever made a mistake? Let's get going. 1, 2, 3. second ending. Let's do those last few measures again. I can do those better. Let's go from measure 14 to the end. Measure 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I meant to do. All right, it happens. Isn't that a lovely tune? If you sat down and really learned to play that, and then your family came over for Thanksgiving, it's coming up, right? That's pretty close. Spend the next couple weeks just learning that, and then at the end of the night, when everybody's sitting around, they're like, "All right, I'll see you guys later," and you're like, "Wait a minute. I have a song I want to play," and they'll be like, "Oh God, not more ukulele," and they'll be very tolerant because you gave them turkey and wine. Then you'll say, "Sit down," and you just play that for them. Whether they know the song or not, they're gonna be like, "That's a good song. That's a good song. I like that. I'm glad you played that for us." Right? So there we go. Parting Glass. That's one of my new favorites of all time. Hey, let's go peek at Siúil A Rún really quickly. This will be your song for the next for the next week. Siúil A Rún, somebody in our group recommended this a couple years back and said, well, around March of 2021 apparently, and said, hey, let's play Siúil A Rún. And I was like, I don't have any idea what Siúil A Rún is. But it's a really lovely tune. It's kind of hard to play, right? And so one of the things that I like for you guys to constantly have is something that's easy, like make sure to go and play the easy stuff, but then also something that's a little bit more challenging. What makes this one challenging, if you look at it, it's all over the neck, right? So the one thing that's been coming up in face-to-face lessons is a lot of times we're not taking enough time to study the music before we start trying to play it. So I want to take just a moment to give you some of the highlights of how I approach something like this. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to play Siúil A Rún. I have never heard this song before. One, I go to this website, jollyrogerukulele.com, and I go listen to it on the MP3, just reading the sheet music and letting it play. I'll do that 2 or 3 times to make sure I know what I'm getting myself into. It's different for me, right? I have to write these things out, and so by the time I give them to you, I'm pretty good at knowing everything about the song, but you're coming to it cold, and it's a song that I picked out for you, right? Which is very common if you're in any kind of ensemble or any kind of a band, is like, here, we're going to be playing this, and you're like, oh, I've never heard that before. You don't get the option of being like, I don't want to play that. You're like, okay, I got to learn how to play this. So you got to use your resources, right? So one, just go listen to it on the website a couple of times. What you will find is the way I play it as a human being and the way the website plays it as an electronic contraption will be a little different in that it's probably faster on the website. It's probably much more accurate, and it is way more accurate as to the length of notes. And so you can listen to that a few times, then you can play it with us together, and then you find out, all right, what things did Gary change? What things is different than the actual sheet music? Did he do good things to it or bad things to it? And then you create your own version of it. So that's one. Second thing I'm looking at, I look right up there at the top, the upper left-hand corner, and I see repeats, and I see 10,000 lines, and I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. It's going to be reading the repeats is challenging. But let's just take a look at it. You're going to play 1 through 7. You're going to go back up to the top. You're going to play 1 through 6, and then you're going to jump, okay? And you're not going to play 7 the second time through. Play measure 8 all the way down to 17, okay? Now, here's where it gets sticky. At 17, you go back up to 1. You play 1 through 7 again. And typically you don't do that on sheet music, but on this particular piece, you do. And so times 1 and 3, you're going to play measure 7, but not 2 or 4 or any other time. Okay? So you hit 7 the second time. In fact, I should probably go in and in fact, I'll make myself a note. That should be a little 3 inside of that bracket above 7 as well. Then you go back up and you play it like you did the first time. You skip measure 7 and you're coming down that second time when you hit 14, you're not going to go into measure 15 the second time. You're going to jump down to 18 and go to the end. Now, we won't probably, I don't know if we'll play, yeah, we might do it that way, okay? So we'll probably try to do it because reading repeats is legitimately one of the hardest things I think that we have to do. And so I think it's good for you to spend a little bit of time on this to get that repeat right. Because if you play popular music, if you go buy a song book full of Beatles stuff or whatever, don't do that. But if you did, don't do it because our stuff's way better. You would find all repeats like crazy all over everything. So that's one. And so measure 7 should be first time and third time. Measure 8 should be second time and fourth time. And then on page 2, the first repeat is measures 15, 16, 17, and the second repeat is 18 to the end. Use your yellow highlighter to your advantage. Make notes on there so that you don't goof that up. Next thing I see is there's a note that says, note the MP3 does not follow this pattern. Probably on the MP3 I just set it to go one time through. I should probably go in and fix that. But yeah, there's that, and I'm putting my yellow highlighters on there like a good person. Right, so there's that. Done. Next, you're in 4/4 time. Okay, that's always something you should care about. How many strums or how many plucks in if you're just doing the chords. Next, I'm looking at chords F, G, A minor, C, F, G, A minor. Thank goodness, this is one of our songs, right? This is a ukulele song for sure. Until you get down to this, whatever the heck A minor 6th is, down there at measure 9, right? So you've got this A minor with the open string on top. Doesn't that sound beautiful? Okay. I did that on purpose. It's a cool thing. And then you're back to regular stuff, right? So you've got some A minor 6 in there on that, and they're located either on the 7th fret as an E minor shape or on the 3rd fret as a D minor shape. Okay. Both of those are really, really pretty sounding voicings of that chord. And then that should, I don't know if that's really an A minor 6th in that position or not. It's probably an E minor 6th. Maybe. All right, and then the other thing I look at is how far up the neck am I going to be going? And right there in measure 3, I'm going up to fret 10. So I want to take a moment. Okay, that note's going to be necessary. Got to be thinking about, anytime you go up that far, you probably want to think, I'm going to need to hit fret 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I've got this on 7. And a lot of times when you hit a 10, somewhere near there, there's going to be a 7. And in this case, right after it, there's a 7. So you'll be hearing vacuum cleaner accompaniment as we're listening. Donna's sweeping the floor out there. And then the other thing I noticed over at measure 11, you've got a bar on 5 and a pinky way up on 10. Okay, that's an unpleasant situation when you have an F chord and a G on the top. It doesn't happen very often. So there was no other way to make that happen. So you just have to face it. All right, there we go. That should give you at least a basic primer for that. Let's take a minute just to play through it and see how it sounds. Okay, Rita made it in. Rainy Highland Park. Boy, you guys are all having terrible, terrible weather up there. Let's see. Nicer tomorrow. Okay, good. And thanks, Linda. All right. So here we go. Siúil A Rún. Super slow, just so you can get a sense of how it goes. Then work on it this week. From the top. 1, 3, 5. Yeah, let's do it that way. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. For some reason, my eyes are not tracking correctly. From the top, 1, 2. It's in 3. It's 4. Let me count in 3. From the top. 1, 2, 3. F with your pinky. There's your 10. G chord. A minor. Okay, and now you look for the low number, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, bum, bum, bum. Okay, back to the top. Second ending. Okay, up on number 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then a regular G chord with your pinky. F chord. Page 2. Bar on 5, pinky on 10. And then a regular G chord with your pinky. Sorry, okay, major 13. Go into 15, G chord with your pinky. Bar on 7. G chord with a pinky. 3, 5, 4. Okay, and that's just a nice, that's a fake ending there, right? Okay, and then he's going to go right back to the top. And then we would repeat this whole thought process, right? So now we would play into 7, go back up to the top, and so on. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and play into the second ending because I want to finish the song, okay? So skip over to measure 8, and let's go from there. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Okay, up on 7. G chord. Page 2. Bar on 5. Second ending, measure 18. Low A, high A, very low. Okay. I'm not entirely G minor. Yeah, G minor, A minor. Yeah, A minor 6. That's right. All right, good. Isn't that pretty? That'll work. That's a fun one to work on this week. We will play Parting Glass again and Siúil A Rún next week, and then we'll have a new piece to study. There we go. Now, we're into book 4 time a little bit here, so let's talk about what I did on the website. So we're working on Beatles stuff prior to this, and we'll probably get back to that. I'm probably going to mix in a Christmas tune and a Beatles tune as we go through to the end of the season. I'm going to start overloading you guys with new and updated Christmas sheets. But I had sent out, if you're not on the email list, go get on the email list, jollyrogerukulele.com, put your email address in there. I sent out Harry Potter on Halloween night, kind of late, and I knew you didn't have a chance to really look at it. And so I want to look at it because it's cool, and it's hard, and it's challenging, and that's what you need. And playing the Beatles is great. Playing songs you don't know that are really hard and really challenge you is better. And so I want to take a minute to just run through good old HP and or Hogwarts Medley, I guess I called it, and let's take a minute just to have fun with that. It is not easy. Let me go find it on my list here. I was playing it so many times. Am I on the right page? I don't know if I'm not even in the right page here. Hold on. I'll never find it no matter how long I look on that page. Jink. Member portal. Dun, dun, dun. There's that. Log in. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it, Sandy. Yeah, it's definitely. If you've watched Harry Potter at all, if you've seen any of the movies, it's like, oh, this is really cool. If you haven't seen them, which a lot of you haven't, one, go watch them because they're awesome. But two, the music doesn't fit into normal music patterns, and on purpose, right? They're witches and they're mystical and all this, so they want it to be kind of hard, and it gives us a chance to play some music that's kind of hard and a little different. So let me put these into my pad here correctly, or I will end up being sad. Hogwarts. And close. That's the baritone. Close that one out. Cancel. Close. Share. Foursquare. Okay. So the first thing is you do have chords on here. They are kind of normal chords, sorta. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be super duper helpful for you. Do you have an MP3 for the Hogwarts piece? Yeah, it's all on the website. So if I'm 99% sure, I'm going to click over there right now. JollyRogerUkulele.com. Go to the MP3 recordings. Slide down to Hogwarts. EFGHAHEHO. Hogwarts. Yep, they're both on there. And we did this one a couple years ago, but I think we were just doing ukulele at the time, so we have a baritone version of this as well now. And I spent quite a lot of time updating them from the previous one. And I'm actually kind of proud of us here. So I think it should be fun for you to play. We're going to go through it crazy slow. Let me point out a few fascinating things about it. First of all, it starts off in 6/8 at 54 BPM. Okay, that's pretty slow. And remember, in 6/8 we count in 2, so it's bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Is that what it goes? Wum bum 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 wum bum 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 wum ba-dum bum 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 bum. So it's it's in two, but it's got this very mystical feeling to it. And then look what happens in measure 8. You move into 3, okay, and it says faster because you don't want to drag through there. It's a waltz through there, and waltzes have a tendency to drag. So you got to pick up the pace. Bum bum bum. Bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum. Okay, so then we're going to go faster through that section. And then look what happens. Over at measure 37, you go into 3/8 time. And you're going to play lots of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And in there's a harmonic in there, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to cover all of the pieces of this, but I'm just doing a quick overview of the piece, okay? And then look what happens at measure 74. And then you're going to go into 4/4 time. Oh, thank God, we're finally in something that we understand, right? So you're going to use 4 different time signatures in this one piece, which on more advanced music is kind of normal, you guys. So so that's why I'm trying to get people to pay attention to the meters when you go to the ukulele group in your neighborhood and you're singing and strumming. That's not going to happen. This is advanced musicianship when you have multiple meters in the same piece. Happens all the time in good music and even in some pop music, but very rarely in folk music because it's meant to be played by the peeps, right? And so there's that. Next thing that I think is worth noting is that you're going to be doing, we have our traditional handshake. Like you look at measure 1, you got a plain old regular E minor there, right? It's A minor up on 7. It's an E there. But then you got to put this 8 on, which is kind of difficult. It feels majorish, even though the main song is minor there. The melody kind of pushes it away, and then you go to an official F chord here. But then, rather than staying in an official F chord, we use this weird note and that weird note, and it's like, what are those doing there? And then we go back to what feels like you're like, okay, we're gonna get back to something normal. No. 8, 9, okay? So you've got a lot of notes that are going to be up the neck on other strings. Again, high level playing, you guys. You don't get frustrated by it. Go super crazy slow. Know that the fact that I even give this to you is like I have a lot of faith that you're going to be able to pull this off, even though it's crazy difficult. And so listen to the MP3 a little bit so you get to know it. If you have seen even one of the movies, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know that part of it. And then take your time and go crazy slow. We're gonna go crazy slow right now, and I may stop plenty of places along the way. First thing I want to do, get my bar chord on to get started, and the first note is a 0. So I'm gonna hold that bar up, and then put the bar right down on. Next bar's on 5. Slide back the bar to 7, add your ring finger. You're going to do a middle and then move your ring finger down to get the 9, okay? Bar 7, 9, bar 7, 8, 9. That's the real chord you're playing. I love it, right? Okay, so you'll strum 8, 9. And then drag this is a chance to be kind of fun, right? This is on 9. It's going to be there when we're finished. Pinky on 3, and then a regular A minor. Go back to the top. Let's try it together. 1, 2. Same thing at measure 5. And then now that's the end of the first thought, is that chord at measure 8. But don't rest on your laurels there, because now you got to pick up the pace. So let's start from there. We're going into a 3 count, and it's going to be kind of fast. Ready? Go. I should have mentioned this. When you hit that 7, use your pinky on the 8. Okay, you could do it on the first string down here somewhere. Could be a 3 on the first string, but I decided it was way easier just to put your pinky on 8 while your hand's there, and that way everything can keep ringing. Okay, so for measure 8 again, ready, play. 7. Okay, I goofed up all of those. So go from 17, index finger on 5, pinky on 8. It'll cover all of the notes you need to make. Okay, from 17, ready, play. Slide down. Okay, and you see there's the fermato over that too, so let that ride for just a second. Now you go on to page 2. Is very page 2 has the same theme on it. Ready, play. This is a fun thing to do. Okay, so that one little section there is kind of weird. 25 through 27. Just do a nice bum 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 4. What is that note doing there? It doesn't make any sense. 3 2 0 4, and it fixes it with this 1. All these ones, bar on just your plain old B flat bar. Okay, and I would probably use pinky on those. 3 4, and then a regular A minor. C sets you up for this moment of like, all right, I got to get this play. Now get these right. 0 2 3 5 7. Okay, so then that stops at a weird moment. And 32, you're like, what? That shouldn't that finish up? It doesn't. And go to 33. And this is where it gets very interesting. G chord. Whoops, I'm on the wrong frets. G, and then lift up your ring finger. Slide everybody forward and put them back down. Weird. You're like, that doesn't even sound right, and it doesn't sound right until you get to measure 36. So from 33, go. And now it's all fixed, right? All that weirdness in there. And you can tell there's going to be weirdness. Look at the standard notation in 33, 34, and 35. And you see a whole bunch of sharps in there. That means weird sounds are going to be in there. They're there on purpose. It's to set you up for this big resolution at 36. Okay. Now, here's the next fun thing you get to do. Let's talk harmonics. Okay. I'm looking at your chat. Okay, well, I'm caught up. Now, 37. You were in 3/4 before, but now you're in 3/8. 3/8 is going to feel faster. It's going to be moving along, but you don't have to make it faster. I would, in fact, slow it down. In fact, I even wrote on there, slow it down. But I want you to do harmonics here. 12s. I don't want you to play this. That's not what we want. We want harmonics. Harmonics are, you take probably your ring finger, barely touch the string, not on 12, but in front of 12. Okay, so the bar in front of, okay, and when I think of in front of, I think closer to the hole. The bar, I'm going to get this up closer. We got to get it right. This is my 12th fret with this goofy little thing on it, okay? I'm going to take my ring finger and put it on the bar in front of the 12th fret, and then I'm going to pluck the string. Okay? Don't hear much yet, but now when I take it off, you hear the harmonic. Whoops. There it is. Now here's what's fun. Once you learn to do it on the second string, you can do it on the first string as well. Let me hold my ukulele differently. Okay. Third string. Whoop. Where are you? And then your top string as well. Okay, so that's your harmonics. You get that high-pitched bling kind of thing. They're called harmonics. I don't know. Everybody says they sound different, but okay, and that's really fun. Now there's harmonics at 7 as well, and 5. They're much harder to do and much harder to hear. So we do them on 12. That's the harmonic I want you to do there. In my original version of this, we used percussion. We had people go, okay, and which sounded fine when you had the whole orchestra. But when you're soloist, that sounds, I don't know, that doesn't sound good. So the harmonics sound awesome. Okay, and then immediately go grab your E minor. Okay, now we're on 38. Let's go from there. E minor shape. And you probably want to put 2/4 ring and pinky on the 4s because it's going to be necessary when you get to measure 42. Okay, here we go. From 38, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then let that ride for just a second, and then go do another harmonic. Okay, that's the F minor. Doesn't that sound cool? Okay, that sounds very much like witches. Okay, and then grab the 4. It's a regular A minor. Some 4s. Okay, and now we get back to some more kind of normal music. By the way, that C7 has no business being there. Okay, next. Page 3 already. E minor again. Wait for a minute, go. G chord with your 5. 4 F minor. 4 A minor. E minor chord on. Let that ring for a minute. There's a fermata at the end of 73. Okay, and then we can have some fun. Now it says faster, and you really should go faster. Another F minor. E flat. It's a D sharp in this case. Okay, then back to E minor. You got to kind of remember to slide this down. Third 81, you got this E minor first, and then you see 0-3, and you think, oh, I just hit it again, but you don't. You have to slide down just a little bit. Okay, and then the whole thought process again at 82. Go. Middle finger on 3. Anytime you see a mess like that, just look for the lowest number, and that's where your bar goes. Okay, I just did it wrong. I was like, okay, make sure you do this right. There's the bar. Pinky. Okay, so 5, 3, 2, and then we go back to the same idea again. And you could do this with a bar. And then immediately get your E minor on. Seven. Look at this. Lowest numbers 10, 11, and 12. G minor shape. And then bar on 2, ring on 7. Or 9. Okay, isn't that fun? Right, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. Okay, and probably if you're like, yeah, no problem, you shouldn't be here, right? If you are like, man, that's really hard, that's exactly what I'm hoping that we get out of this. All right, so let's play it very quickly one time through. Baritones, everything's the same for you guys except that it's in a different key. Okay, I want to play it through one last time, hopefully without stopping. I'll probably make enough mistakes to for all of us combined, and play what you can. Also, if that's too much, you're playing the melody, right? You know that. On this one, the chords up above, since it's not meant for singing, I gave you the more advanced chords blocks up above. I think I got them all right. I didn't check every single one, but I think they're pretty close. Okay. I probably did check every single one, but there we go. From the top, this is it. This is your Friday, and then we're back at it. Next week we will play it through again. We'll play it on both ukulele and baritone, and then I will start tossing in a Beatles tune and a Christmas tune. Okay, we'll start off with the less religious stuff and move toward the more religious stuff as we get closer to the season. We start Christmas music after Halloween as musicians because you want to spend some time getting it together. For example, Over the River and Through the Woods is a Thanksgiving song, so you got to have that one up and ready to go by the time you have Thanksgiving, right? And so we'll start taking a look at that. We'll do Green Sleeves, and we'll do Ode to Joy, and we'll do some of those that are not necessarily completely Christmassy songs, but tend to get played at Christmas time. So we're going to start mixing in that, and we're going to do both. That way you can decide which one makes the most sense. Also, guys, please know Fridays are normally wide open for me, but stuff, as you guys know, comes up, and so I'm going to try as much as possible to be here on Fridays as religiously as possible, but if I don't, I don't know what else to say about that. Gonna try, okay? As I owe it to you guys for showing up to give you something that's worth showing up for, okay? From the top, Hogwarts medley, not fast. 1, 2. sorry. Ta-dum! That's it, right? Played that on a baritone, by the way. Those of you who own baritones, the cool part about baritone is you get that nice bass string kind of just blom, blom, blom through it quite often, and it'll create an even weirder sound to it. So high G is nice because this sound ends up getting, this top string ends up being used for all the weird notes, the notes that just sort of are like, what is that note doing in there? And it sounds really cool on high G, I think, but it sounds different in a cool way on baritone. So next week we'll play both. Hopefully that's a good challenge for you. Those of you book 3 and beyond people, I want you to have some music that really challenges you. And to my mind, this is not the hardest song that we play, but it's up there. And so have some fun with this. We'll work on this next week again. I will toss in, I don't remember where we were with the Beatles stuff, but I think Hey Jude is what we were up to. So I'll probably toss that in, and then I will toss in some start getting your feet wet with the holiday music. And I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are here in Denver. A little chilly, but sunny, and what you'd expect for a November. Is it November? Yeah, November day. It's my birthday. We were going to play the birthday song, but we're already out of time. So we don't need to play birthday for Gary. By the way, do you have your chords memorized for happy birthday? G, C, G, C, G, D7, C, right? Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to me. Okay, or better, happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to me. Okay, so you want to have those memorized because it's going to come up where you say, oh gosh, it's so and so's birthday. They live down the street. You don't grab sheet music. You just grab your ukulele. Open up. You're standing there with your G chord on, ready to go. They open the door. Happy birthday to you. Right. So remember, memorized. G, D7, G, D7, C, G, other D7, G. Okay, and do it on the baritone as well. Same exact shape. Well, on baritone that'd be a different shape, right? Let's see, you got your G, D7. Let's see if we can do it. Happy birthday to Gary. Happy birthday to Gary. Happy birthday to Gary. Happy birthday to me. Okay, so same chords, G, D7, and C. And then you have a choice of which, then it's for sure in G, and then we don't have to think about it. It's always G, D7, G, D7, G, or G, D7, G, D7, C, G, D7, G. And there you go. The one that's blinky style on there, we do that in orchestra. So if you don't come to orchestra, you'll never know. But if you come to here, it's more important you have it memorized just as a song, so that when you get to everybody together, you don't want to have to go look up the music. You just want to play it, and everybody will sing along. Nobody cares what key it's in; they just care somebody can sing it in that. All right. Jen says, I'll try Hogwarts Medley very, very slowly. Yeah, that, guys, that's, I've got a 20-year head start on most of you on ukulele, and that piece of music is requiring my full attention, right? So it's not an easy piece. There's lots of fun stuff in there, a lot of stuff I put in there that's a little bit more advanced on purpose, and so I want you to have, every now and then I want to have one that makes you struggle just a little bit. Thanks, Rita, appreciate it. Jan, good to see you. I don't remember who else was in here. Sandy was here today. Linda was here today. Jan, Carol, Diane, Robin made it in today, which is so exciting. And so good to see all of you guys. We're going to keep this up, and I'm debating whether Friday afternoons is the best time for this. And so right now, in terms of my schedule, it's iffy at best in this time slot, but the other solutions don't seem even any better. So I'll keep you posted as to what's going on. Have a wonderful night and a great weekend. I'll see most of you on Monday. Peace.